Oh, I'm not big. Hi, everybody. Happy Friday. So I'm so excited to see everybody today. We've got a lot to cover. And so let's just get started. Let me get a few shout outs and hellos. It's not my usual time to go live. Hopefully people will find us. To make sure as you enter the live stream, please hit the likes. And I'm going to actually start out a poll straight away. We got a lot to cover today, guys. If you've not been following the story around our favorite new member of Girl World, Sarasota Tim, he has had a recent number of people that have known him, kind of not friends necessarily, but acquaintances he has made. He calls everybody a friend. That they have kind of started to come out of the woodwork and start to say, hey, hold on a minute, we're not really on board with this guy. This guy hasn't spoken to us in a long time. Now he's out on his channel calling everybody a turncoat, and nobody is quite sure exactly what transpired to get Tim so upset with everybody. But I Sorry about that, guys. My wireless. Good job, Verizon 5G just went down. Hopefully, let me know if you can see me. I saw it suddenly went red on the box and then it just came back. I don't know. I got the jets flying over my house at the moment, and sometimes they interfere with the wireless activity. And I think there's a storm coming. It's all go here in the city of Virginia Beach. So I apologize for the loss of me there for a minute. Oh my gosh. Oh, I look lovely today? Well, thank you. I took a shower. Put some eye makeup on and put my contacts in. Yeah, I'm back. I know, I'm back. I'm back. Oh my gosh, we've had so much going on. Okay, so first thing. All right, so I don't even know where to start. Let's start with I guess we could talk about, we're going to start with Tim's friends and then we'll get into more of my legal stuff because yes, Tim did strike me a second time, one day after the other day. So he struck my channel on June 9th and he struck another one on June 10th. So I now have 2 channel strikes, but he also got a letter from my attorney. So I'm sitting at 2 strikes and now my attorney has started to do things, and YouTube is very difficult to talk to as a human, even for attorneys. And so trying to alert anybody at YouTube, they don't want you to do anything except go through their reporting system. They literally do not want people contacting them at all. They make it really impossible. They are so AI generated and hands off of everything. And so when they decided to stop interfering with all the stuff around copyright, because it used to be that YouTube investigated every single issue around copyright, and now they have kind of offloaded it off to the creators. And so we just have to kind of deal with the misery, even if we do things under fair use. And I know there's so many other creators out there who are like, oh, I wouldn't, just show clips and stuff. Well, no, if you're doing things under fair use, then it's fine. That's why sometimes I don't react to entire Tim videos, because that technically is not fair use. And that could land my problem, me and issues. And I would like to be able to play clips of things where he's being problematic. So on today's schedule, we're going to go over a couple of things. First, we're going to go, we have so much. I'm like, I don't even know where to start. But let's go over where Tim starts to talk about happy Friday, everybody. Happy Friday. I know, ever since my wireless went down, that threw me back. Yeah. So, oh my goodness. So Tim talked about getting some steaks yesterday, everybody. He talked about getting some steaks. And so let's share this, because maybe we'll talk about this first. Oh, no, not that. Because I have it under good authority that these folks, Dawn and Lisa, are figments of Tim's imagination, and they actually do not exist. And that these steaks, these Omaha steaks that Tim was showing off yesterday, the unboxing from his subscribers, is an absolute lie. And Tim had actually told one of his friends, somebody or an acquaintance of his who's no longer, communicating with Tim, because Tim decided that he did not want to communicate with people anymore. That was Tim's decision. Supposedly, nobody understood what happened. Nobody understood. Now, there's thoughts that Tim first got potentially not happy with JJ when JJ was pointing out to Tim he should not be promoting the puppy mill pet store that he was advertising on his channel, the video that disappeared. And JJ has been a home breeder of Maltese dogs in the past, and obviously did not think that this type of store where they literally have these poor puppy mill dogs being sold was an ethical place. And he told Tim about it, and Tim supposedly got very upset with him about it. And so Tim also, from what I understand, had made an agreement with JJ that little intro that he does with the Sarasota Tim, that Tim had told JJ he was actually going to compensate him for the use of that, jingle, that there wasn't made just, there was an agreement that there would be a compensation for that work. And Tim never did any type of compensation on it. There are so many things that are coming out. Now, I'll just give you guys heads up. I spoke with Johnny Vegas yesterday. And he and I had a lovely conversation. Hey, thank you, Sammy. He and I had a lovely conversation for quite a long time last night when I was taking Junebug out for a walk. And I got to learn a lot about Tim and how Johnny really only met Tim a few times. But if you take a look at Tim's channel, he put out like 14 videos just putting Johnny Vegas's name in it to bring in clicks and views and about his actual health stuff. And Johnny does have a heart condition. He was very open about that last night. And obviously we spoke about that at length. And so, yes, he is somebody who potentially could get a heart transplant in the future. And he has a hereditary, I don't want to give out too much, but we know Tim spoke about it. But yes, he does. So that is actually true. That he is. Yeah. Oh yeah. I found out a lot yesterday. I also found out, let's listen to Tim and how he talks about getting this steak from Dawn and Lisa, because these people are figments of Tim's imagination, I guess. And let's just hear it, because a lot of this stuff is, oh my goodness, he's a piece of work, and we're looking for some stuff too. Gosh. All right. Let me see. Is this where he talks about people giving him the gift?
On your carnivore diet. And maybe you want to open it while you're videoing. Well, I couldn't figure out what it would be like.
All right. Well, let's go back a little tiny bit, because he's obviously, this is where he, all right, let's go back.
And it just become a good friend. And, it's funny how you can become so like.
Okay. All right. Maybe we'll go back further on the lies. Let me speed him up. Sorry, I thought I had this at the right place, but obviously I skidded him along for a thumbnail picture that I never even used. So let's go back to the beginning.
Sent me things, emailed me, given me things, played golf with me, done different things. It's been a great experience being a YouTuber with the community that I have.
Played golf. We're going to get into those clubs shortly. The missing golf clubs that haven't been seen in 7 months, Tim, that were not gifted to you, by the way. Seems like Tim absconded with somebody's golf clubs. More is coming to light, Tim. More is coming to light.
And it just continues to grow. I got so many people that encourage me, like I'm doing with a carnivore now, special people there. But today's video, I don't want to take the spotlight away. The spotlight I want to shine big and bright. And, we support the blue around here. Well, I've got a subscriber. I call him Police Don. And Police Don and his wife, Tina, a wonderful couple I've never.
Listen to this, okay? Just listen. Police Don and his wonderful wife, Lisa, don't exist. Maybe they once existed as subscribers on Tim's channel, but this never happened, okay? We can chalk this into this never happened, because Tim told somebody about something. And so just watch Tim play his con out.
Never met that watch my channel have supported me and buy me a coffee in other ways, and emails, and just supporting me and encouraging me in life. And it just become a good friend. And, it's funny how you can become so like so many of you out there that I don't even want to try to mention right now, because I don't want to forget anybody, but you know who you are. We talk every day, you comment, and many of you have never seen. But Don and Tina.
If this guy Don once watched Tim's channel, this isn't happening now, okay? This
have sent me something, and I had no idea. He said it will help you on your carnivore diet, and maybe you want to open it while you're videoing. Well, I couldn't figure out what it would be, like maybe a calorie counter.
Do you remember how we had suspicions about Tim sending himself that book of, the big letter devotional or Bible book that he sent himself? Have the same suspicions about the Omaha steaks, because Tim is not getting this gifted. And then watch how he talks about the steaks, because I obviously I don't eat meat, but I understand these steaks are delivered frozen. And watch how he tries to point it out, how they arrive, because somebody is probably trying to get their money back. I wouldn't be shocked. And Oh, Tim, you're just a really not a cool person.
Or a scale or I don't know, some kind of
You knew
exercise
exactly
thing.
what
I
it
really
was.
didn't know. I didn't care. I just thought, how very nice. You know, many of you have sent me things. Well, this one has a note saying,
Oh,
Happy Father's Day. And
oh,
man, am I really excited and very, very appreciative.
I am so sorry to hear that. I am so sorry to hear that, Passive 101. Oh, well, I'm glad we're going to take your mind and condolences. And I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm so sorry. And I'm surprised you're watching this stuff because this gets me just irritated and angry. Hey, Angela Glass, come on in. Watch Tim lie about subscribers sending him gifts.
To Don and Tina, Police Don, we support the blue for sure. Mr. Don will be retiring soon.
I don't think we even saw in the comment section anything about enjoy the steaks. And
he's what you call up there in the police.
Yeah.
And it's just, man, I can't thank you enough. I haven't opened it yet. I'm going to open it for the community to see. I already know what it is because everybody will when I show them. And I couldn't ask for a
keep going, Tim.
Cooler thing to receive for Father's Day because I'm about going broke buying them. It's got to do with carnivore. What do you think it is? Well, without further ado, folks, let me show you what Don and Tina, Police Don, sent me. Don and Tina. Check it out. Well, what do you think?
Well, I think, Tim, that Johnny Vegas told me yesterday that about a month ago, you told him you were going to order yourself some Omaha steaks. And that these were sent to you by yourself. Because you told Johnny Vegas, and he told me last night on the phone, and I don't want to dox Johnny Vegas's details out, so I'm not sharing out his phone number and stuff. He knows who he is. I'm sure if I'm lying, they'll come in my chat. I'm sure JJ, if he's around, he'll absolutely attest that this is true because JJ was the one who provided me with Johnny Vegas's phone number because Johnny's not a big computer person. And we spoke on the phone at length yesterday about all your shenanigans, Tim, all the you know, just all the things that you've been up to. And about a month ago, while you were still talking to Johnny Vegas, because you didn't stop talking to him until May, is what I understand. And so you actually told him that you were ordering this Omaha steaks to be sent to you. So the fact that you're out here in your videos, making multiple videos about unboxing a gift from a subscriber, Police Dawn and Tina, non-existent. Even if as far as sending you the gift. Oh, it's an absolute in blue. I mean, Dawn may have been somebody that had watched and subscribed to Tim in the past, but they're gone. So he's not concerned that probably any of these people are watching him anymore. So he's absolutely, he made up Dawn. Yeah, watching Grit TV. Yeah, thank you, Barham Exposure. It's an absolute lie. We don't even know what town supposedly this guy is. It's just he told his friends that he was ordering Omaha steaks. And then you have to watch it because they're supposed to come out frozen. Well, they're not cheap, but Tim's going to try to get a refund because he's going to tell Omaha Steaks they were delivered, not frozen. Even though he's probably been chilling this meat to put it on the grill for some time. But he is notorious. He literally told also Johnny Vegas that the steak that he had at the Fleming's restaurant was fine. He didn't care that he sent it back. He just did it to do it because he doesn't ever want to pay for stuff. That's how he's been telling all his friends that he returns stuff constantly to stores. And he makes sure that the things that he does is that under that $20 mark so that Walmart doesn't flag him. He plays all sorts of stuff, man. I mean, he literally went off with Johnny Vegas's golf clubs, and we're going to get into that. Okay. So this person who said that he was gifted, that they weren't gifted, they were loaned to him, and then he took them to Florida. And so we are going to be wondering, how did I get all this info? because I spoke to Johnny Vegas for almost 3 hours last night. He said it was one of the longest phone calls he'd ever had. Couldn't believe it. He said he felt so good just kind of getting things off his chest a little bit. And so I'm here. Obviously, we know I've done stuff with Bev and with JJ. And so it seems that, you know, for all my, you know, being the mean girl of YouTube or whatever, it's not the case. I actually am just trying to warn people. That's what I said to John last night. I said, you know, really, I really not trying to be anything like malicious about the people that Tim's had interactions with, because Tim is just a full-blown con artist, in my opinion, and has been carrying out grifts his entire life. Oh, I heard all about Tammy, and Johnny only met Tim like 3 or 4 times, and they were all with other people around. No time was he singularly alone with Tim. And he said that one of the things that Tim disliked about Johnny the most was that Johnny wouldn't always agree with Tim. And so Tim doesn't like anybody who disagrees with him. Once you disagree with him, you're out. You're out. Does Don comment on Tim's videos? Absolutely not. No, this person does not exist. Tim literally told his friends that he was going to order himself some Omaha steaks. And now he's made it out that he's getting this Father's Day gift. He doesn't help his kids out at all. Doesn't even tell people about his eldest child. I was filling in stuff, on these people. So, this is. So, and he's gotten wild, guys. This is why this man tries to strike my channel all the time. He doesn't want me out here dropping truth bombs like this. So let's see how he folds the piece of paper when he shows you his delivery, like the cost of the steaks, because he doesn't want you to see that he sent the stuff himself.
Let's get it up there. First, let me just remove one thing. Let me just remove one thing here. Here we go. Take this out. Just want to remove that. And then we'll open the package. Let me get you on in here. This is really nice.
Well, you can't see up, but you probably find out that it's Mr. Baker's details on him, sending his stuff to himself.
There it is. Now, can you guess already what it is? I got a call from the office telling me on my phone, hey, you got something here, and we close at 4:30. You might want to pick this up. It is perishable. 1 filet butcher's cup, a cut, and 1 strip steak.
He actually edited his video here, and then he makes sure everything is like, and then obviously we got Florida here, but he's only going to put this part. But he told people he was ordering steaks. There's no subscriber sending this to him.
Boneless. Looks like prime or something here.
Make sure you hit the like.
Let's take a look. Without further ado, let's get going here, man. Where's that knife? Man, this is cool. I've never received. I was going to order. Someone else, a subscriber, had told me about a company in California. We've all heard of Omaha Steaks. They do. Let's find out. I've never had anything shipped. How they pack it.
And he could have had this thing sitting in his house for some time, because they're supposed to arrive frozen, obviously. And it seems, Tim just opened it, but he could have had it sitting in his, home for a little bit. And I'm sure he's going to make a complaint to the company that they did not arrive frozen, so he can get a refund or get some money back. Because Tim is always looking for an angle for getting his money back. He's never going to spend the money on these. He's going to ask for a refund. Absolutely. Wow. Ready for the refund already.
Actually, no ice in there. They must come immediately. Let's see. Omaha, 100% guaranteed. And you see that? Let's see which one this is. This is the original. Come on. So excited.
I know.
Got it all taped up here.
I know. Where's all this, like the packaging that goes in there, like the little frozen packs and stuff that would be in there? This is why it's just, Tim is just dodgy as Dodge City. People that watch him, you should be ashamed of yourself. And supporting him, there's no, just shameful. Angel Mission, I swear that's Tammy. I put money on that. Or Tim's sock account. Tim got a bunch of socks. Ridge Runner. If you ever see Ridge Runner, whatever it is, that's Tim. Hater Channel, Tim. Tim's sock accounts, Tim.
Ah, well, they're chilled. They're not frozen. And there's 4 fillets there. They are cold. I'm not concerned about them whatsoever. I'm just surprised there's not warning dry ice. It's completely melted. Maybe they were to be, they're cold though. They're all right. Man, that was cool. 4 fillets there. Did you see that? I'll show you again. This one here, they really got closed up. Steak without compromise. Oh my goodness, look at those.
Now, I understand when he was in Vegas, Tammy would be ordering wine and he was not drinking at the time. But I think by the time he headed back to Key West and we saw him stumble out of that bar, he may be imbibing again by then. And see, these are supposed to be frozen. You know, Tim is going to complain to the company and say this wasn't right. And he actually edited this video up. You know, you saw, he's just such a...
Ooh, doggy. Look at the marbling on those strips. These are boneless New York strips right there. Let me show you.
All right.
Right here.
All right. That's enough of that, Tim.
Boneless New York strip, 2 pieces,
right.
14 ounce.
That's enough, Tim.
Omaha, Nebraska.
Thank you. We don't need to see anything else about that. So reality is that it seems that potentially that Tim is making up people sending him gifts, because I have it on good authority, and you can trust me or not. I know that, you know, I'm sitting here. I don't want to sort of show like, I mean, I have text messages from Johnny Vegas on my phone here, but I'm not going to like show up my phone or, you know, because it's just not the way I do stuff. And I know that they're not necessarily a technical person, but I know that JJ would be able to, you know, I'm sure he's busy at the moment, but he would be able to let everybody know that this is the case. Because JJ also have, as you know, has been releasing videos. The Jujube one was awesome. Chef's kiss, JJ. We love that. If you haven't checked out JJ's Crushing It channel, feel free to go and check that out, and some of his take and how he dropped off the coffee maker on Tim's property, and so forth. And so it was just some really good stuff. And he had spoken about Sarasota Tim and his relationship with California Steve, and obviously with Johnny Vegas, and just kind of how disappointed, because Tim has not spoken to these people. Now, I understand that Timmy Appleseed is the one person that is still speaking to Tim. And he had tried to call Johnny Vegas recently, like 3 times one day. And this is after Tim hasn't talked to him, Johnny, that is. And so Johnny was like, you know, realizing that Timmy Appleseed is kind of like the, you know, one that's going to relay information back to Timothy Baker. So he didn't answer the calls, which is probably a wise decision, because he's trying to figure out kind of what's going on. And so it's kind of interesting, because these gentlemen don't really understand why Tim got mad and why Tim got so upset. And so he is the one who initially kind of stopped talking to people, and nobody is really aware why. But it seems that in reality, Tim is the one who's been doing some things that are kind of, you know, outrageous. And one of the things, and if anybody remembers anything about Tim, he was back in Vegas last year, and he was playing golf all the time. So let's just take a look at how many golf. He just put out tons of golf videos. Now, he also, we're going to go to this one. He also brought out Johnny Vegas. Now, the idea was, and I'm sure, and I can't remember which video it was, but Tim literally had said that the golf clubs had been gifted to him, or were given to him by Johnny Vegas, because Johnny had hurt his shoulder and was no longer able to play. Well, they were only linked to Tim, because what I understand is that Tim came out to Vegas, wanted to play golf, and had 0 clubs on him. So Johnny has had shoulder surgery in this video, and the clubs that you actually see on the back of this golf cart are Johnny Vegas's golf clubs. And we're going to show you how Tim has brought those golf clubs with him to Florida. And Johnny Vegas is now pretty unhappy with this. He realizes that he kind of just let it go, because he just like, but it's $2,500 worth of brand new golf clubs. And Tim showed up to Vegas. And this was, back in, let's see what the date of this video was. This was 11 months ago. And so just slightly, this is about the time that I remember watching. And so Johnny did, he did say that he met Tim. He tried to send Tim emails. Tim hadn't responded, and that he did know where Tim was, and he wanted to meet him. He had been, like many people, had discovered Tim through that Social Security video. And he did admit that he went and sort of sought Tim out to introduce him, because I guess he wanted to show him Vegas and give him a chance, and had enjoyed his content and really kind of wanted to, let him know. And so nothing a little bit more than that. And he said he did meet that guy, Justin. And that's an interesting story, because supposedly Justin had $40,000 worth of cash in his backpack and was coming out from like Oklahoma or something. And he probably disappeared that night, because he probably ran out of his 40 grand and went back to Oklahoma, because he was like a high rolling gambler. And nobody's ever heard from this guy, Justin, ever since. Why would it complete? They wouldn't. Tim is making it up. It's a storyline. It's for views. And Tim is recording potentially that the packaging of those Omaha steaks weren't correct, and he's going to ask for a refund. He's probably going to ask. But the thing is, a lot of these companies now, they have cameras, and they can actually see things getting packed. And they can tell if somebody is full of it or not sometimes. So, but, they may, 25 does prove that guy is well, he didn't give them to him. Well, he said they were good clubs, and that the bag and everything else, all of it all together, the whole set, once you put in the bags and everything, it starts to get very expensive, for a set of, good clubs. And he said that Tim cheated his entire way through the golf game. So Tim would give would move the ball, like not even an ethical player. And so Tim shows up to Vegas and has no clubs and wants to go to golf. And it was $75 to rent the clubs. And so Tim obviously, isn't going to want to spend money to rent. So Johnny, knowing his shoulder was out, lent these clubs to Tim while I guess he was in the area, assuming that he would return his clubs at the end of the trip. And Tim just took them off to Florida. And he just kind of let it go. But I think it's starting to get to a point where obviously he's like, oh my gosh, this guy is it just went off with my clubs. Just took them. So I would connect my male friends with children on holidays, but a gift, exactly. Yeah, he's probably blocked them. So we are on the hunt for the golf clubs. Has Tim sold them on Facebook Marketplace, or does he still have the clubs and could send them back to Johnny via FedEx, or pass them over to JJ's house or wherever? Because Johnny would like his clubs back, Tim. They weren't a gift. You went off with the rangefinder too that was loaned to you. You told all your audience something else, because Johnny didn't really watch your content like that. So he didn't know half the stuff you were saying. And the stuff, no, he's known his wife for 17 years. So Tim couldn't even get that right. It's so much. Johnny Vegas should explain why he went along with. He didn't go along with it. He didn't realize that he even had it wrong at the time. He actually said it was 17 years, and he wasn't sure why Tim didn't correct it. So he didn't go along with any of that. None of that was, I think sometimes we portray things as community, as reactors, but that's not necessarily what I'm hearing. You saw the in the clubs and the crasher and what? Oh, okay. That's good to know, Luke. Okay. Okay, I was wondering. Okay, and I'm guessing that there's clubs. So, Tim, you still have Johnny's clubs and he'd like them back, sir. Because we were all concerned you might sell those things on Facebook Marketplace and get yourself some cash for clubs. Because everyone just assumes you sold them. So we'll make sure. Hey, Luke, take a screenshot of that one for me. Send it to my email. It's in my about section. Or let us know which video it was. Yeah, don't link it, but just the name of the video in the chat. So you don't get yourself in trouble. Oliver proved that Jason. Yeah, he did say he's only been married for 5 years, but he knew his wife for 17. And he doesn't know why Tim went off on that deep end about the lies there. I think he just kind of was let it go, but he was not happy. His wife is very shy. And I think that, trying to, target when they were just literally acquaintances going out for dinner. And Tim has a habit of twisting stuff and trying to get things. So, yeah, I think that Tim is a thief. Return the clubs, Timmy. Yeah, we know who you're here. Right. Yeah, you got to get those clubs back. Yes, I think. Yes, they've only been married a short amount of time. Yes, they have been only married a short amount of time. So, yes. I think she did say it was about 4 or 5 years. It was not a 27th anniversary wedding, and he's not sure why Tim said that. And I guess he just, Tim never edited it out. Maybe he just thought that Tim wouldn't leave it in the video when they were saying it. I also found out the reason why we don't see Tim at Tim's daughter's house anymore is that her husband, who is a school teacher, has basically banned him from videoing in the home. And Tim got very angry with his daughter because they won't let him make his living there. So Tim basically gets very upset with anybody who is not allowed to shove the camera into their face. He doesn't understand why Tim made that mistake. I think he just went along. Well, yeah. I think he probably thought Tim was going to edit that out. I don't think he realized what Tim was going to upload. He told me about how confused he was. That was something he actually clarified with me yesterday. I didn't even ask. He clarified that he never understood why Tim put out a video stating the wife. Also, the apartment, that's not his main place. So sometimes reactors can do some searching, and it's not always true. Plausible deniability. I can promise you, he doesn't really know Tim very well, and I would caution that I don't think that he was really aware of everything that Tim was doing. So I don't think that we necessarily can always go off of, the things about the wedding and all of those facts are true, the apartment, but he also owns a home. So there were things that were missing. And I think that we have to see that this could be just potentially somebody who was hoodwinked by Sarasota Tim. Because he talks a lot of, he has the gift of the gab, everybody says. So, and this is one of the reasons why my channel is here, because I hope that there's no other people that will try to meet this person in person. And Tim has met some interesting people. Well, if he sells the clubs now, we're going to I want everyone to keep an eye on Facebook Marketplace. See if Tim puts the clubs up there for sale, because that's his favorite way to do it. Yeah, we're talking about some different things. Oh, Tim's dry begging for a Rolex now. I bet it's the one where he claims severe back pain working on the e-scooter, and it was a crazy, hilarious video. Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll have to check the shed, because they're not in the back of the CC rider. He's got the gift of lying. He absolutely does. And I think that, like I said, I'm a pretty good, fair judge of character, just because I've had to work with so many people throughout my career. And especially in healthcare, you just kind of start to kind of gauge somewhat. And I felt that we had a very honest conversation, and he's somebody, you know, some of the details, you know, the fact that he was talking about, and he doesn't really watch us and watch reaction channels. He said that Tim literally went into people's phones and would start to try to get them to, you know, not recommend channels like mine and other things. So he really wasn't aware of half of the stuff. He said, never saw Tim on his own. He was either with this other person golfing, or he was with Timmy Appleseed, or he was with his wife. And that was really the only times he ever saw Tim. And he said that one morning when Tim was rolling around that parking lot at 4:30 in the morning trying to hit everybody up for breakfast, he just let the phone go off and ring multiple times. So it's just, you know, it's why I've always just tried to say, just be cautious about, you know, stuff that you watch, and from watching people and seeing things, you know. I don't think there was any reason Johnny Vegas could have just left this and you know, disappeared. But, you know, I think that he was very disappointed by Tim, and Tim's got his golf clubs and he'd like his golf clubs back. So catch me up. Doesn't say why Tim said he was celebrating. Yes, he says he doesn't know. He doesn't know why. And his daughter's is a nurse. He talked about how many years of his wedding. I don't think that I want to paint this gentleman with the same brush as Sarasota Tim. I think that, you know, even when people do research and see, we still have to know what people do and don't have. He talked very openly about treating them to dinner, and so forth. I still can't understand why girl seeked him out, shower with free meals. I think it's because they enjoyed his Social Security video at first. He seems like an affable people. Remember, as we get older, sometimes it gets, you know, we have even more, you know, difficult time meeting people to make friends. I think that he just had, you know, wanted to meet Tim. He thought he would seem like a nice guy. I mean, that's what everybody remembers when they looked at his Publix, his Social Security, that Tim was an affable, nice guy, and he wanted to show him a little bit of Vegas because Tim was coming out to Vegas. Some people might want to show their hometowns. Had nothing to gain from it. Doesn't have a channel to promote. He wasn't promoting a business. So there was nothing to gain other than potentially having a friendship. And I think he and JJ are still, so JJ can attest to Johnny's character, because JJ was the one who put me in contact and has told me about what wonderful people JJ and Bev are. And so they have remained in contact with one another. So, you know, so I think we should just always, you know, but I mean, like I said, I've been following Tim for a while. Supposedly Tim thought it was kind of cool. He put that naked fridge video up until people told him to take it down. People are very lonely today. Right, love a deceit and lies with people like Tim. Exactly. I think so. And, you know, it's very easy. I wonder why Timmy was changed to Timmy Appleseed. I have no idea. I have no idea why they changed his name. It's probably, I have no idea. Maybe, I think, is it the area of California he may reside in? Potentially. Something like that. Vicarious fame. I don't think he really wants the fame that, I don't really think he wants to be connected to Sarasota Tim too much. Oh, thank you. Yeah, let me know. So who did Mr. Tom go out with when he... Oh, well, from what I understand, that really wasn't a road. It looked like a road, but it was just a pathway. And I think we all made a big hoo-ha out of it, because reaction channels can make a big hoo-ha out of stuff when you want to. He wasn't even aware about Tammy having been married to Tim's friend and stuff. So I think there's a lot of these side characters that Tim likes to rope in are very unaware of all of Tim's things, you know? And obviously, JJ also has his channel, and JJ can probably clarify that what looked like a road was not actually a road, and they weren't firing into a road. It was just a pathway on Bureau of Land Management land. So I think we should always, if we want people to actually let us know a little bit more about Tim, then obviously we've got to be open to listening. Otherwise, if we try to accuse people of stuff constantly, because he didn't have any reason to tell me about Tim's Omaha steaks. He just happened to mention to me because we talked about the video, and he's like, oh yeah, those Omaha steaks. He said JJ had mentioned about he was going to do a video about the Omaha steaks because Tim had said to everybody that he had ordered those himself. And then he pops out with a video talking about them being from Police Dawn and Tina, who we'll take a look. There's no comments from Police Dawn or Tina like, hey, Tim, enjoy those steaks. All there is TRD saying somebody's in the house. And, that could be potentially set up in order to make it seem more convincing. Who knows with Tim sometimes. But if we take a look, let me share this tab real fast. Okay, let's get in here. He has 18 comments on this video. Okay, in 20 hours, 18 comments. It's not a lot of comments on a video that's had over 1,700 views. So we got St. Louis Scott. I'm not trying to dox these people, but we're just trying to see if there's anybody that looks like a different name. We got this person, Angel Mission. Very kind gesture. Say, I swear this is Tammy or a Tim Sock account. Oh, I did want to talk about a poll that we took, and I discovered that the person did defect. So we'll get into that one too. See, look at this. TRD says very kind of them. And then at one point, though, TRD had put a different message in, and it looks like they deleted it. That said about Dawn and Tina in the house. I wish I'd taken the screenshot now. Oh, here it is. Well, it just says Dawn and Tina crushed it. But he said something about Dawn and Tina in the house. And then that has gone. And now it's just very kind of them. And so we don't see like anyone here saying, better read some of the papers in there about freezing or not. Someone says. And then none of it is. Wayne is obviously not Dawn. What a blessing. Wow, great gift. Enjoy. Yeah, great gift to yourself, Tim. Nobody's sending you anything for Father's Day. Except, I don't want to say. So yeah, that didn't happen. So yeah. There's nobody there saying, hope you enjoy the steaks, Tim. We were so happy to heavily scrubbed. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Of Angel Mission on one of her videos. I don't know. Who knows who these people are? All I know is that, it's probably a sock account. You can put any picture up there. You can put anybody. I could be AI. I'm just teasing. That'd be sad. Okay, so somebody says that we see those golf clubs. So let's see if we can find Johnny Vegas's golf clubs real fast. And then Tim is talking about this carnivore diet. Oh, that was another thing that we went into. So Tim did get a coronary artery calcium score, and it was like 1578 from what I can gather. But his cholesterol total score is not that 200. From what I can gather, he talked to Johnny Vegas about his numbers because Johnny has been, managing a heart condition. And his cholesterol was actually well over 300. And so he has really bad, supposedly his LDL was very high. That's one of the reasons why he never mentioned that number, because it's appalling. And so he is going to be doing more damage with his heart than anybody that you can imagine. Did you ask Jay about the videos of a young woman he deleted? Sensitive subject. Well, I mean, that's potentially, because, if you're going to be putting yourself out there, that people are going to start to be holding more criticism to you. None of us are perfect individuals, okay? None of us. But the least, I think that some people are starting to understand it's time to just, at least they're having the courage to come forward and talk about their sides of the story. I could say that, I'm just bringing out everybody's side of the story here. And then as you are all your own adults, you will make your decisions about what you believe, I'm just saying what I've had. And, I had a very long conversation with somebody last night, a very long conversation. No reason to make this up. I can talk about my channel strikes all day long if I want to get views, So that's never a hard one. But it was interesting to hear that, yes, he did get some lab work done. No, he didn't get all those heart tests. I don't think he went ahead with those. That he didn't have, obviously, the money. He'd spoken to Johnny about having to pay for his teeth. Johnny said that Tim had told him one year that he made $100,000 that year from YouTube. Tim hasn't paid his taxes in 3 years, was something else that I learned and found out. That she's real. Well, posting she was on his Facebook. Who knows? I mean, and that's interesting that, I've never gone into that level of detail of investigating anybody. But I guess that, that they went in there, and I know that they do a lot of due diligence on their research, but it doesn't mean that we know everything about everybody, because there's obviously certain things that we're never going to. You've seen her Facebook page. You saw her face. I froze again. Yeah, I have no idea what's going on. It's blame Verizon. Well, yeah, well, okay, so she's a real person. Well, she just seems like she's, to me, I felt like she was always Tammy, because she was talking about flip-flops and just, but, she is real and she looks like a man. Well, I don't know about that. And that could just be a fake page too. So, I mean, who knows? Sometimes you have to see, having, how long does the history go back on a page? Because sometimes people will, especially on Instagram and stuff, they will steal people's pictures and set up profiles and stuff. I'm not saying this is the case. I'm just saying that it's amazing the lengths that people go to create fake profiles about stuff. Though if she's a real person still following Tim, bless her heart. I have no idea. She's obviously got father issues, in my opinion. Upgrade your internet? Well, I did. I upgraded last year, except I don't know. I get a lot of interference, and I'm not paying that much, guys. I'm sorry. I'm just a cheap grad student. I'm sorry. I only pay $45 a month, and that's all I'm paying. Well, I don't want to talk about people, whether or not a female appears more female than male. I don't feel that that's my place to talk. And it's probably that I've been having some more issues with this wireless and the jets. When I have the jets flying overhead, I get a lot of interference. You were booted? You have Verizon? Yeah. Verizon is being, you wouldn't pay $2,500 worth of golf clubs and a rangefinder, add up to grand theft. Oh, well, and that's the thing. The comments. Oh, okay. Sorry. I wouldn't be surprised. Shit. I promise you, I haggled with Verizon 5G to get some cheap wireless, guys. But yes, the golf clubs. We were looking for the golf clubs. And obviously, the things I'm going to say are going to cause some controversy today, and that's okay. And like I said, my channel, I'm going to, try to present other sides of the story. I'm not only going to be anti anybody who associated with this person, because maybe they didn't know what they were associating with at the time. So I think as people are starting to discover, if you haven't kind of started to wake up to obviously some of his actions by this time and you're still watching his channel, then but supposedly you can just go on Google and look up Social Security at 62 and Tim's video will show up. So Google has a lot to answer for at this point. And obviously Google owns YouTube. And if they're still making money from that terrible video, they don't care if they put it out. Google, YouTube doesn't give a monkeys. One thing I've learned dealing with this corporation is they don't care. They don't care. Raised on the mountain of right and all flies on the valley of wrong. Well, I'm just trying to, listen to different sides of everybody's story and not just, try to, investigate and dox out people and just assume that people are bad because they associated with Tim without them really, if people are meeting him through the channel, you can't assume that people also know that he's a bad guy. Some people are such good people that they don't know that other people act in really awful, nefarious ways. And Tim seems like a really nice guy. And he's really good at lying about stuff. He loves to lie about his assets. And we know about the IDL loans and stuff. And I know that, some of the other channels, like Carl was saying that they're real, that he's exhausted on Tim because obviously all this bad, stuff about him's come out. Well, he's a bad guy. I mean, he's not, I mean, he's funny. I mean, and I guess it's not funny just to see a total con artist, but he is an absolute grifting con artist. Okay, let's go back and take a look at that. Was it the one where he built the bike? Let me see, e-bike. Let's see, even. Is this the one where he threw his back out? I want to see where the one where he said he threw his back out, because maybe that's the one. Here we go. Let's see if we can see the golf clubs in here.
There you go.
Do we see in here where he opens up his shed? Or is he just talking about throwing his back out here? I was trying to see if he opened up his shed at all on this one now. All right, let me go small, guys. I know he talked about that back and his bike. Here we go. Here we go. Let's see in here if we can see inside the shed. Let's see if we can find Johnny Vegas's golf clubs in here. Is this the one where we're talking? Is that his golf clubs right there? Do you see it? I think those are his golf clubs, guys. Right there. I don't know if we get a closer look at the shed. No. He doesn't bring, is it over here? Oh, now we see something moved. Move that out, the chair out. Are those, is that the golf clubs right there? Is that his clubs lying there? Are those Johnny's clubs? Right there? We're at the Windy House. You're down at the Outer Banks? Oh, nice. That's beautiful. Enjoy. I know you'll have a great time, Todd. Make sure you go over to, Kill Devil Hills area if you're out that way. There's some great restaurants over there. Really good ones. Aqua Blue is very good. I think it's called Aqua or something like that. Well, I'm surprised he hasn't sold them too, because people did believe. So as of, I think that's the golf clubs lying there. Absolutely zoom in. Can I zoom in? I don't know if I can zoom. Can I zoom in? Let me see. It's hard to do it sometimes when you're on the actual live stream sometimes. Let me see. Right there. Is that the golf clubs? Keep zooming in. Can't believe I'm doing this, guys. Oh! Right there. Is that the golf clubs? Is that the golf clubs I'm seeing? Hold on. Is that? I think those are his golf clubs. Just sorry. This keeps every time I try to move it. Hold on. Don't do that. Go away. Oh, it's the title. I can't get rid of that, unfortunately. Right there. We're gonna live with one of the two, unfortunately. I think right there. Oh, well, you have I know, it's beautiful. I do remember Dim said JV loaned the clubs and later said, no, he didn't gift them to him. Well, well, we don't know what he said. I don't think that could be called somebody's loss. I think if you loan something and the fact that Tim just took off with them and didn't think to give them back, you know, I think that's wrong. Would you just do that? If somebody lent you something, would you feel that was somebody else's bad? I don't think so. I would just give if somebody lent me something, I would return it. It's just kind of, that's just kind of how I was brought up. I shouldn't think that somebody has to repeatedly demand it. Ugh. I mean, I don't know. Someone should go back to the original with the clubs. I mean, those are the clubs, but I can let you know that the person did not assume that the person was just going to take off with the clubs. They just they were told to loan, and Tim might have gone out there and said they were gifted to him, but that's just Tim talking, guys. Like Tim said that you're welcome. You're welcome. You know, that's just assuming that that's what somebody said. That's what Tim said. We got to take everything Tim said with a pinch of salt. Jamie the clubs. Well, Tim's not even returning his calls at the moment. And he just kind of was trying not to be a dick, I guess. Pardon my French. Well, I think that's what he's trying to say now. And that's why I'm here today. Because Tim's not taking his calls now. So it's very difficult to ask for something when somebody isn't taking your calls. Oh, yeah, I know what Tim said. Tim says all sorts of stuff, guys. Tim says all sorts of things. Tim also says that he's a good Christian. Tim also says a lot of stuff. You would say it's worth 30 Timmy out of his life. Exactly. And that's part of it too. Sometimes, you know, you just don't want to deal with it. But I think in reality, he's starting to understand that, you know, I guess when he wasn't really having use of him and Tim was his friend, he probably didn't feel too bad that his friend was borrowing his clubs. But Tim kind of suddenly just stopped talking to him. And and then he just went off with the clubs and never said a word. It happened months ago, and he should have demanded back. You can't demand them. Well, yes, you absolutely can, Lisa. You can't steal people's property. I mean, we're just highlighting the fact that Tim went off with some golf clubs, and you know, that's just the type of person he is. So we're just giving you heads up, people. Don't lend anything to Tim. California Steve gifted him a very expensive rangefinder, and he knew it. He gifted it. He was very generous. And sent him coffee money. These guys know that. They thought that they were, you know, doing what guys do, I guess, with friends. You know, they comp a meal, they do whatever. You know, Tim was never going to comp back, though. Never. Yeah. Well, that was an absolute lie, Lisa. That was a lie. He wasn't gifted them. He literally took the clubs. Another time he wasn't. He was visiting JV that whole week. Well, he wasn't really. He was out in Laughlin. He wasn't exactly in the guy's house. So he wasn't a guest. And also, I think that they were hanging out the other guys together too. So it wasn't just always Tim. The statute of limitations in Nevada for grand theft is 4 years. Good to know. There you go, Johnny. Go get your clubs. I do recall hearing Tim say, well, that you really want to believe that Tim, well, JV had the means he should fly to Florida and confront him. Why would you confront? You know, Tim carries a bunch of guns, don't you? And didn't you see him with the black eye recently? And then we've heard from Z-Cars that Tim gets real angry. So why would somebody go in, and when he has, also you have to remember this man has a heart condition. Okay, I'm not lying. I spoke to him at length about his cardiac stuff, and I don't want to get into it. But obviously the stress to deal with this, okay? So your statute has not been reached. Yeah, I mean, he literally, yeah, he'll never get them back. Yeah, I mean, it's, he understands that. But I think he's sort of like realizing now that this guy just went off with my golf clubs. And so it just shows you, don't ever be kind to people, okay? I mean, don't lend stuff to people, because I promise you, I've learned this having been in this country over the years. In England, when you lend stuff, people read it, even if it's a book. People would never, and there's thieves in England too. But I've had more situations here in the US, literally, if you're loaning it, you're giving it. I've learned that. It's very, loan in America means gifting. There's no such thing as a loan. If you loan somebody money, you've gifted the money. There's no loans in this country. There's no loaning. People automatically assume you gifted it to them. So if you ever make the decision that you want to loan anything, just already assume that you've given it away. That's what I've learned. I lent some friends some camping chairs because I was at an event and I had to leave and they had no chairs. So I said, and they asked me, could you just leave your chairs behind? We'll get them to you. Sure. Never got my camping chairs back. And I think I kept asking my friends, could you please drop my camping chairs off? It was my duty to go to their house now and ask for the dang camping chairs. It just gets to the point where it's not. Yeah, exactly. Why you shouldn't loan money and shouldn't do anything. Now, maybe back in the day, people had a very different, attitude. Like you lent your neighbor the lawnmower came back. Nowadays, you lend your neighbor the lawnmower, the neighbor thinks you gave them the lawnmower. It's pretty much how it seems nowadays. So I've kind of, just that's why I wouldn't choose. That's why people shouldn't lend money or co-sign on a loan. Yeah, we don't roll like that. And you say, you give it back. Yeah, you will give it back. But here in the States, like, oh, no, you're bad. Should have been that dumb one. I get loaning some salt and pepper for food. Yeah. If it's loaning, if it's a true friend. Yeah. But Tim would never be anybody's true friend. I don't get it. Learned the hard way. Yeah. You'll be in the Outer Banks for, Kitty Hawk. Oh, nice. Well, right by the Walmart. That's a new one. That's probably the old Kmart. So I usually never learn about. Yeah, it's a cold world nowadays. Absolutely, Veronica. It is. It is a cold world. Here in the United States especially, it is brutal. Absolutely brutal. So I think people who live in Europe or other parts of the world probably starting to understand it. But to live, it's pretty much, you're on your own. You better figure it out. And Tim has figured out how to con and grift people all the time. Back in my day, my mom would lend me money and I'd always pay it back. Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, but, nowadays kids don't even, it's just gifted. Has JB look up for more? I think they're sitting right here in the back behind Tim. So just keep an eye on Facebook Marketplace, everybody, to see if Tim starts to try to sell those things. He hasn't played golf in like 7 months. So you don't lend without asking, could I survive without it? Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's something that you learn the hard way in this country. If you can't, I've always paid, if somebody's lent me something, or say, for example, if friends and I have gone out and they're, just using their card to make life easier, I just Venmo the cash straight away. I don't want to get into any type of misconceptions when it comes to my friends and money. That's one thing I, ensure, because it's just something that will ruin a friendship faster than anything. But Tim never offered. I mean, he just literally, showed up. And obviously people probably thought, a little bit, maybe a little bit, he's on YouTube. He's got a decent channel. He was telling people he was making $100,000 a year. And so they assumed that they were with somebody with means, And then he shows up with no golf clubs and keeps this guy's clubs. The old Kmart is a super Target. Oh, that's new. Oh, no wonder my friends don't come up from the Outer Banks like they used to Virginia Beach, because they got all the stores there now. Well, I'm trying to move to Moyock. And so they get a little house on the water there, because I have the best of both worlds over in Moyock. I still, close enough to get over to Chesapeake and all that built up stuff, and then still over to the Outer Banks. Anyway, nobody cares. But yeah, I love that part of the country. I'm actually half North Carolinian. I always say that I'm from Washington, North Carolina, Beaufort County. Okay, just to point that out. I wonder who called the pro shop at the golf course out west to pay for short suits for Timmy. Oh, they did. I mean, Johnny talks about the fact that first video that he comped him, and he told me he paid for Tim's golf, and people were being very kind and generous towards him. The clubs are in the red bag. No, the red bag. No, looks like a camp chair. The clubs are this thing right behind him. These dark things right here. That's what the clubs are. And he hasn't played golf in he has not played golf in I don't know, 7 months or something. That's no, the clubs. Sorry, this thing is coming up. The clubs are this thing right here, probably. I think those are the golf clubs, that black bag. It's got some other colors on the front. It's this one of these bags here. I think that looks like the clubs right there, because they were black or dark blue with a little white on them. So potentially those are the clubs. Potentially. In the little windy house. All right, let's take Tim back down to normal. Well, let me go. Oops, that's too small. Okay. Oh, there, right there. I think you can see him pretty clearly. Okay, there was another one. This is the last time we ever saw Tim golf. Let's get over here. Okay, this is how long ago it's been since Tim dragged these things out. It was like 7 months ago. Hold on. Let me put golf. I think he said Bradenton. I think that was. Let's do that. That's it. Oh, no, so it worked. He finally. This I think was one of the last times he golfed was here. The River Run in Bradenton, and he's got
gonna be fine.
Look right here. It's got Johnny's golf clubs right here, sitting on the back of his thing. So there's the clubs. Those are the clubs that Johnny had lent him back in Vegas, back in the time. And now we found the missing clubs potentially in the shed, but. Oh, they weren't in the back of the trunk today. I promise you. I took, because I'll show you that. They weren't in the trunk today of the CC Rider. Not too much. They weren't there. Oh, yeah, he's too cheap to play golf. Who's paying for his golf now? Because see, when he went out west, there was Timmy Appleseed, Johnny Vegas, there was California Steve, I think. A bunch of people were sending him money and helping comp, for stuff. And even California Steve says now that he feels foolish that he sent him so much stuff. If you look at JJ's videos, he was really kind to this guy. For whatever reason, we don't know. Some people are really nice. I've had very generous friends in the past. So we just never know. But here he was about 7 months ago at the River Run golf course. You got a copyright from him? Another one? He's out of control, Buckeye. I'm sorry to hear that. Buckeye. Yeah, I've got another one from him too. But hey, Buckeye, I keep telling you, email me and I will give you the language to put into a counter notification that you don't have to submit your name and address. Okay? I keep telling you, contact me. My email's in the about section. Let me know it's you. And I'll send you that language over so you can put in for a counter without having to supply your name and address. You can just email it to YouTube's legal and do a counter notification. And I'll give you the language for it. I won't even charge you because I've already paid for the attorney's things to this community. And my attorney has already reached out to you, Tim, about the cease and desist and is asking if you have legal representation and why you haven't been in contact. And now we're going to the next steps. And not just the counter notification, Tim. We are letting YouTube know about all your they don't want to know about people's terms of service violations for some reason. So YouTube puts out all these terms of services that people are supposed to follow. But then when people violate them, YouTube doesn't want to know about it, except through the reporting system. So that's it. And then you have to be doing something absolutely so heinous that their AI can pick up on it. So you literally have to be using some of the most divisive, nasty language, or literally doing something so grotesque that YouTube catches it. So people like this buffoon are just flying, pardon my French, flying under the radar on a persistent level because of it. If you say something, you gave you something enough times that belongs to you. Yeah, that's not true though, really, is it? Otherwise, it's just called, you know, you can steal from your friends too. And people can steal from your family. You know, just because you're related to somebody and you take your money out of your mom's wallet and you're a grown adult or even a kid, that's literally still stealing. Even if you're related to that person, it's still theft. And so just because you are who you are does not mean that you have the right to paw your hands on other people's property, even if you feel a connection to them. You don't have a right to it. That's crossing a boundary. And I think it's one of the things that I've found the most confusing living back in the United States as an adult, is how people are so assuming that they have rights to your property when they don't. Whether it's to just eat your food, you know, take your stuff if you lend it to them, and just be like my bad. And so it just makes people not, you know, over time want to do anything for anybody, I think. You know, IRS, he hasn't paid the IRS in 3 years. Tim hasn't paid taxes in 3 years, and he's told his friends, or not so much, or acquaintances who are no longer wanting to be his acquaintance anymore, I should say, because these people haven't known Tim long enough to be friends. Okay? These were acquaintances that happened to get used as side characters on Tim's channel, and probably regret it for the most part now. Which is why you have to be so careful on social media. I know that people want to call me like, oh, I'm acting like Sarasota Tim because I put out 5, you know, unmonetized member-only videos to play up on Sarasota Tim one day. I don't know how, you know, but because I guess I have a growing channel. Thank you guys. I really appreciate it. Make sure you hit the likes and subscribe on the way. You know, it's going to call me out, but I'm just sort of trying to give sides to different stories. And I think that it would be nice for Tim to return somebody's golf clubs back to them. They can ship them. He's got plenty of money. He gets dropped from YouTube. Yeah, it's hard though. YouTube makes money from him. I mean, we've seen, like, if anybody's followed me or follows Foodie Beauty or any of those channels will know she still has her content up and she's done some horrendous things. It's very difficult. Very difficult. Even YouTube doesn't even want to know about this stuff. They really are like hands off. Like I said, it has to be like literally somebody doing something most heinous acts ever. The video probably still Tim showed up with Starkers, and it was only because he took it down. JJ tells, yeah, Tim has got a bunch of false accounts, and I saw that Ridge Runner went into like Darling's recent video about Tim and put in like 3 different things trying to defend Tim and stuff. It's absolutely Tim. Yeah. Vicky Lynn says, hey, Ray and all, just joining me starting. Oh, it's just a bunch of tea. I'm bringing in some tea today. It's only one of his mini accounts. Thank you. So thank you. I'm glad you're here, JJ, because I was just saying that you know, I had a nice conversation with Johnny yesterday and about the fact that he's a good person, and that Tim really kind of exploited just kind of the acquaintance with him, and is really hurt his feelings that he just suddenly stopped taking his calls for no apparent reason. And he doesn't know why. And now he's kind of reflecting on things and realizing that Tim, as we can see, just went off with this man's golf clubs. So we're trying to get Tim to return Johnny Vegas's golf clubs back to Vegas and send them FedEx. You got plenty of money, Tim. That's what we're trying to do today. That's what we're trying to do. Dinger has 2 meanings. Oh, yeah. Where's Margaret when we need her? Margaret always around. I'm Margaret. And he always says other people have so many alt accounts. I have nothing, okay? I have no sock accounts. I do not have enough time to worry about that. I know people say stuff about me on YouTube. I don't care. If it helps them make money, great. You're going to get it. I've actually reached over 3,800 subscribers. It's next to nothing. So it never watched it. Well, you should go check them out. Some of the videos now. I wouldn't say that, Birdie. I wouldn't say that. I think that we need to be a little bit kinder. A lot of these people did not understand, who Sarasota Tim was. Sarasota Tim is a character made up, and he is people, let's, I think it's why you always have to have, it was kind of made about the sock accounts, and you did ask. Oh, okay. Oh, but he meant ST. Oh, okay. Thank you. Oh, thank you for non-compasses for clarifying. And Bernie, thank you. I'm glad we clarified that too. See, sometimes when you just read comments, you don't know what's going on. Because I was like, that didn't seem like Bernie. I was like, what's up with Bernie there? Christian, he's keeping clubs because he's mad because he couldn't get the watch. Oh, the Rolex watch yesterday. JV told Tim on numerous occasions and recently to get rid his golf clubs out of high temperatures, that the grips will be ruined. The tin can is too hot. The shed is too hot. Yes, absolutely. You will ruin your clubs. I have mine here in my air-conditioned home. Yes. So he's like ruined his clubs too. It's probably why we haven't seen Tim playing golf, because he probably ruined all the handles now on those. Thank you, Bertie. I'm glad we clarified too. You was watering my yard, you forgot. So thank you, JV. Yeah, he was literally, because people are sort of like, well, Tim said that he was gifted them. Well, Tim says a lot of stuff, guys. It's Tim. Right, it's $160 for new grips. Absolutely. Good golf clubs are very expensive, guys. Very expensive. You can get a cheap set for next to nothing. I'm talking about good clubs. What do you think some of these professional players spend on their clubs? Gosh, I wouldn't even want to know. Vicky Lynn says, Ray, be sure you have some folks to save this live just in case. God forbid Tim succeeds in getting your channel shut down. These facts need to stay on. Well, I don't know if he's going to succeed. He can keep trying, But thank you, Vicky Lynn. Yeah, save my clips, guys. In case Tim. But I'm not using a lot of his content today. This is a lot of commentary. Maybe he sold them. Well, I think we sold them in the back of the shed over there by the house. So if anybody knows how to do a search on Facebook Marketplace on Tim and ever see if he ever put those clubs up for sale, that'd be interesting to find out. A baseball bat. Right, exactly. Some of this stuff, I know that people are like, what? 25? I promise you, some of this stuff, guys, sporting equipment can be very expensive. It doesn't take care of, they're not shiny and new anymore. No, Tim doesn't. And they never paid for them. When you don't pay for stuff, you don't care about it either. I mean, look at this with this Callaway hat on. Just, my gosh. Oh, Police Dawn. Yes. I just went over the fact that obviously the Omaha steaks were sent by Tim to Tim, and that Tim decided to say that they were a Father's Day gift from Police Dan and Tina, who are, if they ever existed, probably don't exist on his channel anymore. So thank you for actually coming in and verifying a lot of this stuff, because obviously when I found out about the Omaha Steaks, I really laughed last night, because I think there was, I want to say Tar Heels was potentially one of the people I think did say that they thought that it was Tim sending it to himself. Like, I want to say in Blind Views' live last night. I just popped in real quick. But I think I want to say that people kind of had potentially worked out that these were not. And then obviously one of the questions is that, Tim is going to probably go back to Omaha Steaks and say, hey, didn't come with the dry ice, and it didn't come with, they weren't frozen. You guys shipped them out wrong. No dry ice, but they were chilled. Because I guess they just defrosted the whole way from where they were sent, so that Tim can try for a rebate on that box at Omaha Steaks. That the dinner at Fleming's, the steak was perfectly fine. The steak wasn't bad. He just sent it back because he does, because he can, and he doesn't care. He doesn't care if the manager of that good steakhouse has an issue, or the waiter has an issue and didn't get like the temperature right when he took the order. He doesn't give a hoot about any of the repercussions to any of the other people. It's all about this guy at the end of the day. And it's just, and I'm just trying to bring out and expose a lot of it. Oh, yeah. Right. No, they're not. And he's talked about his skin cancers, but he's out there with like no real sunscreen on and just roasting himself. He's got high cholesterol. I, as a registered nurse, worked in a cardiac unit. I can't agree with that diet at all. Not for somebody who's supposedly trying to take care of his heart health. It's not anything that I would agree with. Multiple social media accounts. Oh, he's got all over the place. It is wild. On the two older folks on the beach, they were friends still. Oh, are we speaking about Teddy and Jolene? Oh, I promise you, probably Teddy never wants to see Tim again. He showed up uninvited probably at his property and stuck that camera. That's why you don't see his daughter. Because his son-in-law doesn't want him on the property filming. And Tim gets very upset when anybody stops him from filming and doing his thing. It's a bad diet. He's going to end up, if he supposedly does have that very high coronary artery calcium score, he has a very elevated risk of having a coronary event. And if you see how much meat and cream and saturated fat that he's eating and cheese, it's like he almost has, in my opinion, a death wish. I'm just going to say it. Because there's no way that, and especially he stopped taking all his medications. This is a dangerous individual. I mean, unless he's just trying to rage bait. But I've never seen this man drink water. I've never seen him eat barely a piece of fruit, except for a couple of times with some blueberries at JJ's house. Sorry, JJ. But that's like one of the last time. You still think Teddy gave him the black eye? I wonder if it was his son. Because, Tim never wanted to help his children out either. So here's this guy, made $100,000, used his children as film props in their homes, probably didn't compensate anything for it. No, JJ, we know he didn't compensate you for the jingle that you helped to make. Oh, you're poking fun of him? Poke at him all you want. Because he's the maker of his own misery. Really cannot with Tim. Okay. All right. Let's get back. Anything interesting? Oh, yeah. We're going to chuck the chunk today. And then we'll get it back over to my copyright strike. And then we'll finish it out, guys. So Tim is off paying it. So this didn't happen. This is going to take out your coronary arteries. These weren't a gift. And Tim supposedly paying it forward again at a McDonald's. I want to say, though, at some point we see that he gets out of the car and opens up his trunk. There we go. Right there. No golf clubs in here. We got all sorts of stuff in here, though. What is this? Oh, that's his e-scooter in here. What's this? Is this a for sale sign or something with some money on it? I don't know. He's got a bunch of stuff. I mean, Tim, this does not scream minimalism to me. You got a bunch of stuff in all sorts of stuff in the back of this trunk. Not a minimalist, Tim. Okay. Let's talk about what Tim talking about today. Not too much, because obviously we got to be under fair use. All right, let me put him in 1.5. Because my attorney always tells me I got to make sure I just do commentary, guys. Got to make sure I need to use snippets of Tim's content under fair use.
I'm, definitely not dropping any more in the last few days. I took some tape measures around me. It seems like a half inch has come off the waist. I think it was it 42 and a half or 41 and a half, just under 42. So I'm doing that. Of course, I've read your comments, all of them, and especially the ones that refer to, don't look at the scale, look at inches more. I woke up this morning and just put in carnivore on the search bar, laying in bed on YouTube. And out came a video that's funny. A new movie coming out on the 20th of this month that you can get on any streaming service, Fandango, any of those streaming. I don't know.
Well, the one thing that Tim does have in his favor for a coronary event is age, believe it or not. Because the one thing that will happen with your heart muscle over time is that as the arteries are reduced with their blood flow, your body will start to compensate and will actually start to develop increased venous blood flow, it will make extra venous connections to the heart muscle to try to supply it with some form of blood. I mean, obviously venous blood is not the best blood to be supplied with because that's deoxygenated blood. So it's a blood supply, but it has no oxygen, and you need the oxygen, but it's a blood supply. So it will help the heart, at least on that respect. So as we age, that's why sometimes it seems so odd that you'll have people in their 40s will pass from a coronary event, but people in their 60s will survive. And the reason being is all that collateral blood flow that has been created because the body has been trying to compensate over time for the constriction of the arteries. So it's one of the things that actually age can help with, which is, why grandpa survives, but the 40-year-old fitness guy didn't, because they don't have that collateral blood flow that's been developed over years. So that's the one thing. Not to say it won't screw him up, or if he has a stroke, he's going to be in real trouble. I don't know about his blood pressure and all that. All that walking, it's not going to fix or reverse years of damage. And if his cholesterol was really up in the 300s, which is what he was telling people off of YouTube, then he's in some real serious issues. He really is in some serious issues. Absolutely. And the amount of cream and stuff it's saturated fat he takes in, I don't think he's going to get the results that he thinks he's going to get. He might lose weight, but you're going to lose a lot of other stuff too, including your colon.
I don't know what they are, but where you can buy movies, rent movies, and it will be in limited theaters around the country because it's not a big time, hopefully it will be. It's called Animals, and it's relative to carnivore. I invite you to check it out. I'll probably rent it and check it.
Yeah, that didn't happen in a pool. I can promise you that looked like direct blunt force trauma from a fist into an eye socket. One, I used to practice kickboxing a lot. I've seen a lot of black eyes. Two, that's a pretty clear black eye, especially because it actually started to, the bruising started to go over to the other eye. So it looked like somebody hit him right in the eye. He never got that in the pool. Not in a million years. It's just a complete made up story.
Check it out. They showed a snippet of it about 2 minutes long on this morning's video when I searched carnivore on YouTube. Dr. Ken Berry came.
No. I've already told you the guy has multiple strikes against his medical license for some really bad behaviors, Tim. He's lucky to even still be practicing medicine in Tennessee. He's had so many strikes against his license. So please, just caution with everybody, even me.
Came up with Dr. Sean Baker and the other two doctors, I can't remember their names, that are very popular on YouTube.
Oh,
They're actual doctors.
Absolutely. He's
that
a
eat
pathological liar.
And it was a very good, about an hour, 45-minute video where they did a collaboration, a podcast, if you will. And
yeah, Tim's a Christian for convenience. He's one of those. It's convenient for Tim to be a Christian because then he can absolve himself of all his behaviors. Do you really believe that Tim has presented any Christian acts anywhere throughout his lifetime? Didn't provide health insurance for his kids. This guy went over somebody's golf clubs, man.
Showed them all there talking. And you know what? Scooters is right up the road here, but I want it right now. And here's a McDonald's that does have the senior coffee. And I'm going to go in there. And if I can buy somebody a coffee, I'll be happy to this morning. Let's see what we can do. Anyway, Ken Berry's, I guess it's Ken Berry's latest video. But I went from, I'll check it out. Maybe I'll try it. And I half-ass tried it and all that to, I am now a proponent.
Absolutely. You got to get all those little branches coming in. Or maybe it actually starts to come off the arterials too. That's correct. Yeah. We'll start to branch off the ones that may still have some blood flow. Gosh. If his LAD gets completely clogged, he's in for a time, man. He'll have to get a bypass. He won't even be able to get a stent. They'll have to do a complete bypass. That would put him down for like 6 to 8 weeks if they had to bypass his heart. This way, they're going to have to bypass him. If he really has that 1578 coronary calcium score, and that's what he told Johnny Vegas, and a 300 plus cholesterol, or an LDL that's over 300, and he's eating the way and drinking all this cream and eating them steaks, it's either going to stroke or he's going to have something. It's at some point, he's going to need a bypass. He's going to start complaining of chest pain soon.
And hope to live the rest of my life eating the proper human diet. And I've seen and heard too many people that have been on it a very long time that, good morning. May I please have a senior coffee with 4 cream?
Senior coffee, 4 cream, anything else?
That's it, thank you. I see nobody in line. There's a car coming in now if he's lucky enough, or her.
And I'm sure he's never slipped cash to the people at the fast food places. And the ones that I use regular, like Panera, I absolutely do tip for the people there. Absolutely, because I use them all the time. Sometimes I slip them cash, $5, $1 or $2, whatever I have. Why? Because I see them all the time. And they help me out. They get my stuff for me. They make my salads extra large and stuff, I think, because they know it's me. They just treat me really good over there. So I make sure to compensate. I don't assume it. I don't think Tim is ever that. But that would actually be paying it forward, Tim, because most of these people are minimum wage workers. But no, Tim's got to, do what Tim does. He can't get it on his app or something, I guess. And look at all this minimalist. Tim, we're talking about, I have my form of minimalism, which is the fact that I minimally work throughout my lifetime. So I have minimal amounts of money to buy a home. Tim couldn't get a mortgage on his own. He's got no work history. Who is going to give a 66-year-old person with no work history and no mortgage history a loan for a house? Please let me know who that person is. And what rate are they lending at?
Her to order before I pay for mine here. They might get something. So anyway, too many testimonies about the, hey, what's happening?
Chick speech.
96 cents, man.
I did chick speech.
Hey, how about that? No, that's a great deal. I'm just kidding. How much is that order behind you?
Thank you. I agree.
Oh, well, I saw a car pull in.
We're coming up right now. 888.
888, do you have?
High performance from 10. This is just so performative. I swear, I blame myself for this every time, guys. It's my fault. Just blame me.
Have the authority to use the card again? You got to get your manager. I got to get the manager. Oh, here, I'll give you a different card, and we won't hold up the line. Right. Let's hook those people up. 888. 888.
So does he have to use a different card in order something to override what he already bought? Interesting. Look at him. He's so proud of himself. Look at me, everybody. I got somebody else's golf clubs and I do all sorts of heinous things, but look how cool I am.
You want the receipt, sir?
I can't afford it. Courtesy of Sarasota Tim, YouTuber. Thank you. Let's see if we get us a thank you. It's very important.
Where's JJ wants his t-shirt back?
You get thank yous.
Yeah, the coffee?
Yeah, sure did. Is it good?
Yeah.
4 cream?
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
Ugh.
Let's see what we
All I
got.
can say.
Well, I think I might have seen them pay for the person behind them, which would be very nice.
Thank you, Carl.
I didn't see many hands coming out and horns blowing and all that. That's what I do. But anyway, 888. Not too bad. Not too bad. They're coming up there behind me. I'll wait for them and make them thank me. Oh, just kidding. I know I like to aggravate people by saying those things. So anyway, senior coffee.
This is the height of minimalism back here. Thank you so much for that super chat, Blind Views. Look at this. Tim's minimalism is not being an actual minimalist. Tim's minimalism is, tell you guys I'm a minimalist, and therefore you must believe. Minimal content, minimal ideas, minimal editing too. But definitely maximal channel striking.
For $10. You got to love it, everybody. And I do expect blessings to come back.
Oh, blessings, of course, guys. Blessings, blessings. How many more things will Tim send himself and say it was somebody else who sent it to him? Do the right thing. Return JV's golf clubs. Jesus is watching. He absolutely is. He is. We know he is. Hold on. We're going to make sure that we're going to let Jesus see this. Hold on. Yep. He saw that, Tim. He did. He saw that, Tim. He saw it. Absolutely. He's being a cheapskate. Always. Oh, Veronica, McDonald's requires a different card for each transaction number according to McDonald's manager. Oh. Wow. That's interesting. Huh. That's interesting. That is interesting. That's interesting. Thank you for sharing that information. I've learned something about that. Well, I've never done that at McDonald's, so I don't know. There's nothing I can eat at McDonald's, and I don't care for their coffee.
To them, to me, and to you, if you sow good seed. Keep up the good work, everybody. Oh, that's good.
Do you think that Tim's sowing good seeds out here? Is he sowing any good seeds? Tim, you scrubbed all the comments that wish Bev the best for her cancer journey. Is that sowing good seeds? You've got Johnny Vegas's golf clubs probably in your shed over there getting destroyed. If you're not playing golf, just get them in a box and FedEx it back. Okay? What it cost you? A couple $100? Suppose you got plenty of money. Shouldn't be a problem for you to go send those off. I mean, at least, text him and find out his home address. One of the two, you bring in, if you look at whose comments are and you look at a year ago and you look now, I think Darling did a video about that and somebody else did, completely different people. Tim off, just full of lies. Okay, keep going, Tim.
Yes. Yes. The familiarity. McDonald's McAfee, baby. Folks,
I would say that his skin does not look good. He's got no shine to his skin. This just, to me, his skin does not look healthy. And your skin is probably one of your best barometers to your overall health because skin is the largest organ in the body. So it is a really good, when you see people and their skin looks good, it's probably they are eating a really good diet and they probably are pretty healthy individuals. Tim's skin, I mean, even on that, it just does not, it's got a very, for all the sun and everything, his pallor is off. And the tone, the texture of the skin too is not, I mean, our skin changes as we age. And I certainly, as I've said, I would not recommend somebody who supposedly had all these dermatological issues with skin cancer going out with, minimal to no sunscreen. Because I think he believes that he doesn't need sunscreen as much too with his diet. And I would caution that to be very cautious, that your diet is not going to be able to affect your ability to protect your skin from the sun in that respect. It's not going to be able to do it. I know it sounds great, but it really is not going to create that barrier to protect you from literally a ball of radiation. So it's most of us, I have sunscreen on my arms. I wear like that super goop. They have the big like play with the 50 SPF in the summertime. I like live with putting it on my arms, my legs, my face, literally all day long, all the time, just to walk even the dog. I'm so petrified of getting skin cancers because I've saw so many cases, and just how it just can tear up your skin. And like I said, as we get older, skin gets thinner, so we're going to burn even easier. So I think it's even more important to, get sun protection. I live like, I wear SPF shirts. I make sure I have umbrellas out. If I have color, it's because I literally have been out walking, and having to stroll with my patient and stuff. But I definitely have a farmer's tan. But yeah, this is his advice is terrible. Terrible. He's so dangerous.
That is definitely the best cup of coffee I've ever drank in my life. Got the special order label. They're so nice in there. That young man was the first time I met him. I got the light. This arrow let 2 cars go and it turned red.
Well, still, you should use a little bit of
time to chat.
Even if you have other ethnicities. That's a misconception. You may not get as much damage because of the melanocytes of the skin, but you still will get a little bit of sun damage. Even my friend who was black would always wear sunscreen in Mexico. She said it was a misnomer. And black people also can get melanomas and stuff. So just be cautious, guys. Just even if we all, not quite as torn up as we get over here in this part of the world, but you can get, I hit my camera. You can get pretty torn up. So just be careful. This
McAfee. Today's dinner, guess what it's going to be? I have a prime ribeye that was in the refrigerator that was supposed to be made yesterday before I was surprised at receiving the Omaha steaks from Don and Tina. So it has to be eaten today. And regardless if it was in there, I would have had one taken out, maybe another one that Don sent, or whatever. But it's going to be meat, baby, meat. I was going to make some bacon this morning. I have some left that I bought at Aldi.
Well, that's also a misnomer about the melatonin. I mean, it makes us slightly more resilient, but we're not going to be completely resilient. You're still going to get damage in the sun. Just not to the same extent necessarily, but you still get it. Promise you, I worked in a cancer place doing skin cancers all the time. So, and that's a myth that we have told other people. It's not true. They also have susceptibilities to these things.
And I didn't. I just had a boiled egg and some coffee. And when I weighed in at 200, I was like, come on, man. I'm trying to get down to that 180, 185. Maybe in this next week, I'll see like a surge and pounds dropping. Yesterday, I'll have to do more research about the carnivore. I had
Tim and his research. I guess he's over to the public library and getting that evidence-based studies out.
I bought those burgers, that have that brown envelope around them, those prime chucks, but it was Chuck.
Okay.
The big dude, the doctor.
So I have to prepare you. So I have to skip.
He's always got this big butcher's knife out, cutting his meat on a big wooden cutting board, eating it, just putting it down, and the guy's built. Young.
Well, caffeine is a diuretic. So it does have diuresis properties. I've read different things. I mean, I've heard different things where they say that as long as if you're drinking coffee and it's got water and your body just sees it as water, then obviously you're consuming water. But the difficulty is that if you are actually drinking water and you're just drinking coffee, coffee does diurese. So just like a diuretic type medication, coffee is going to pull out fluid, part of what it does. So it will, potentially take, moisture out of the barrier. But I don't think necessarily if you drink in moderation, I don't think you're going to do yourself any harm enjoying a cup of coffee. There are some things that talk about potentially some of the protective nature of coffee too. So I think like anything, I would suggest that, we enjoy everything in moderation. I think that's really the lesson that we learn the most. And I have to watch that one because I love coffee.
Guy, in his 30s, late 30s maybe. Hell, he probably is in his 40s. He just looks so darn good from the carnivore. But what I want to just
yes,
say
you
and
do,
stop saying
William.
a little bit.
Take care of that
carnivore.
skin.
I just don't want to bore the community with I get a lot of grief. Another Walmart video, another going to McDonald's video, another carnivore video. Hey, it is what it is.
Wow. I'm so glad that Tim cares about what his subscribers. Johnny Vegas was giving me some information yesterday about the fact that he was wanting to take Tim to some other more beautiful parts of Vegas, like Red Rock area and all that, in order for Tim to have more interesting content. And Tim supposedly balked at the idea of driving 20 miles and spending gas money on that. All Tim wanted to do was what Tim wanted to do, which was play golf. So he has no interest in giving his subscribers anything but what he does. So if they want to see a beach or something, well, maybe. But, a lot of the times, all that, he doesn't care. He's not intellectually curious enough to want to provide anything beyond what he does. If he can get views and make his money from just this is what you'll get. So have fun with it, people. You're just going to get Walmart videos. Tim's the persistent returner. That's all you're going to get. You're going to get Tim. Tim in the role. Real Tim. Well, except when he lies about getting steaks from subscribers.
It ain't the destination. It's the journey. It ain't the video topic. It's Sarasota. And to a lot of you, that's what it is. And I appreciate you stopping by and visiting and listening. Today is Friday the 13th. You know what that means, don't you? That means we're going to eat meat today. That's all it means to me. And every day is what you make.
So here we are at LA Fitness, getting ready to go inside and do a little workout.
Every day is what you make of it. And Tim's got to keep showing this happy self, because all this stuff has started to come out the woodwork about all of the people that kind of got acquainted with him. Don't really have very nice things to say about. Kind of call this guy a user. Nobody likes a user, Tim. You got to find some way to pay it forward. But other than that, the McDonald's. Send back Johnny Vegas's golf clubs.
Get my pump on, and then I might go over to the mall, which is this way over there somewhere.
Oh, great, everybody. We got a mall video coming up. He probably wants to pester the people at the Rolex shop again because, heaven forbid that he leave a shop assistant alone.
To get some steps in. There's the little scooter. CC scooter.
See, we don't see any golf clubs in here, Tim. Where are Johnny Vegas's golf clubs? But look at all this stuff in here. What the heck is the hat? That was his recent Sarasota buy. Just all this stuff, man. You're not a minimalist, Tim. I'm sorry. I don't care which way to Sunday. There's a whole philosophy that literally they could probably put their belongings into one suitcase. Just because you minimally worked and you minimally saved up for your retirement and you minimally decided to do anything does not make you a minimalist. For sale sign here or something. Just all this stuff. Lord.
The Aero Max Plus, fully charged, ready to go. There's some mass snorkeling fins, ready to hit the beach. In the back seat, I've got the, which is ready to go.
is beach chairs and beach umbrellas and everything else. So these glasses right.
Yeah, okay. And the thing is that Tim isn't going to give anybody any sort of a view of any type of beach setting today. No, he's not. Okay, let's get into the last thing real quick. Oh, he's hoarding. Hoarding minimally. All right, let's get into the last thing, and then we'll wrap this one up because I've been here for almost 2 hours. And some of the other channels, they get upset if I live stream for too long because supposedly that makes me as bad as Tim. Go figure. Okay. Let's share this instead. Oh, let's share this one. Look who's been hard at work today or yesterday. This is a strike that came in on June the 10th. And then I had another one on June the 9th from Tim. This one has been forwarded, my counter notification. That was the one I just kind of used my attorney's language and just put my name and sent something in. And then I said, you know what? I got the second strike the following day. And I said, you know what? I called my attorney up that morning and spoke to them on the phone. And she then sent Tim an email, which basically said, hold on, let me go over here. I'll read it. I won't show you the email, but I'll read to you what it said. Okay, so she contacted Tim about the cease and desist the other day. Oh, okay, and she wrote here. Actually, I can share this one real fast. It says, dear Mr. Baker, there's all Tim's addresses, who cares? And there's multiple people on my team. We have not received a response to our attached communication from April, and it has recently come to our attention that you have continued to flag/strike our clients' videos in violation of YouTube's terms. As previously stated, such actions damage our client and may result in additional action taken against you. If you have engaged an attorney, yeah, right. And I keep telling him he's never going to engage with an attorney, and or we should expect a formal response, please let us know. And we know that we won't get any formal response from Tim. That's absolute not going to happen. Okay. Now this is again, Casey Grits disappeared when I called him out. Was there somebody called Casey Grits in here earlier? Probably being a shenanigans. Oh, yeah, there's always going to be shenanigans and trolls in here. That's okay. But thank you for doing that, Barium Exposure. I appreciate it. You live in Vegas, William? It's a shame you don't live in Florida and going to Vegas so we could get Johnny Vegas his golf clubs back over to him. I love Vegas. I was talking about my good times in Vegas. I've had some fun in Vegas. So no interest in Red Rock and other sites near Vegas. No, because he didn't want to spend the money. Even though he was begging for gas money to go to Vegas, or to out west and to do stuff, he was asking his subscribers, buy me a coffee so I can take you on the road trip of travel. It's not the case. And supposedly I heard that Hilton Tom hit on Miss Tammy too. And that Tim forgave him for that because Hilton Tom comped Tim those rooms. But yeah, supposedly Hilton Tom hit on Miss Tammy. Can you imagine? Just Miss Tammy wear a lot of makeup. You're half asleep. Oh, I know it's early for you, Catherine. I'm so sorry. I'm in Vegas. I can be JV for an interview. Well, there you go. You can always see if he would be interested. Mark's weather. He only likes to beg to go anywhere. Absolutely. If he and even if he does get the money, he's gonna return it back, like all those golf shirts and stuff that people are sending him $100 for his little Tim Cup outfit or his cowboy Tim. And oh my gosh, cannot. He has no taste, obviously. No. So this is my counter notification letter. This is what I'm showing at the moment. So this was the one that was sent to YouTube today. the 13th, Friday the 13th of all days. Dear Sir, Madam, and Mr. Baker. And so the way to give you heads up, for anybody who's a small creator, I'm thinking about potentially making a video about this. If any small creator is interested, I can show you, and I don't think there's any video that actually goes into this on YouTube. I can show you how to do a counter notification. They always talk about the other people wanting to strike other people, but what if you're a small creator and you're doing things under fair use and you're getting targeted like by somebody like Sarasota Tim, like Buckeye Gordon is being targeted? You do not have to supply your name and address to do a counter. If you do not want to do it, there's a very clear thing that says that there is an email address that you can go through if you don't want that person to see your details. And all you have to ensure, this is all obviously, lawyerese language, because when you do send this, it's within perjury. So you've got to make sure this is all correct. But the most important part is this bottom part right here, this YouTube's requirements for copyright counter notifications. And this language does not show up on YouTube unless you start to move ahead and put your details in. And then it wants you to tick this box that says all these different things, this 1 and 2. So as long as you ensure that when you send the email in, that you submit the 2 legal statements that are here, then you can send it through email without, on a generalized, your YouTube email address, which hopefully isn't a personal email address, and send it that way to YouTube's copyright, and then they will forward it on to the other creator, and you do not have to supply a name and address to do a counter. You just have to ensure that you have those 2 statements. That's the way to do it, and that's the way to do it without having to give your details away. You can just put your name at the bottom of the letter. So that's what I would recommend to anybody who is finding themselves being struck by somebody and you don't want to supply your personal details. Just ensure that you are supplying those 2 things. And I'm very happy to share this information now, because obviously this community has helped me be able to afford an attorney in order to start to learn about this process. And I think if Olive Oil had been able to have, understood that they could have sent these in without having to use their own personal details, they probably could have saved their channel. Do you know Hilton Tom? I don't know him personally. We just know of him as somebody who left a voicemail for somebody that wasn't very kind. That's all we know. I don't know any of these people. I just know of them. They're all Tim's side characters, as we call them. But no, I do not personally know him. Ray, this is costing you a lot. It's cost Tim. Actually, the community has come forward. So I can say that I'm happy to do this, because I really do believe that when you have individuals who are misusing a platform, and I have this huge group that is YouTube, and they really do not care about small creators. And ever since they have allowed for this new copyright system, it has been really egregious towards smaller creators who do commentary. And it does get exploited. Tim's been exploiting it. And so I'm very happy because of the money that I make from being monetized on this channel. I know that irritates some other creators, that how dare I be monetized and Tim's monetized. Well, I actually try to use the money to support this stuff. And I'm happy to share it with other creators who want to be able to do counter notifications and don't want to actually supply their personal details. And now I know how to do it. And like I said, I'm probably going to make a video. Will it get any views? I don't know. But I'm very happy to, obviously take out my attorney's information, but let people see actually what the structure of these letters should be and how you, as a smaller creator, don't have to go around and give out your personal information. Because recently, and Johnny was telling me this on the phone, that there was a incident, I don't know if you've all been familiar of it, where I guess there were two YouTube, there was these creators, and I guess they did not get on with each other, and they were in Vegas, and the other person shot the other person, and I think that ended up in a fatality. And so that's kind of like, whoa, it's like causing it. So I just feel that, well, the thing is, YouTube doesn't allow them. The difficulty is that they are doing what they can do. YouTube makes it impossible. Google makes it impossible to actually get in touch with real people. They don't want to even hear from people's attorneys. They don't care. So if anyone thinks that YouTube is this benevolent, organization, no, and they don't care about small creators, and they don't want to engage with anybody. That's my attorney gave me this whole thing about it, because obviously that's why she's a copyright attorney. And YouTube has totally started to change how it manages this stuff, and really taking it, like washing their hands of like dealing with it by doing that copyright strike, but like making it so that small channels that do any type of commentary or anything could be subject to the whims of somebody like Sarasota Tim. And without even being able to really let them know, because YouTube never wants anybody directly contacting them about another channel's terms of service violations. You have to use it through their AI reporting system. So it's not great. And so all these, all of us who want to see that, feel that you could reach out to this company and say, hey, look, it is almost like an absolute impossibility with YouTube. Not to say that my attorney isn't going to attempt for it, but it's not a very user-friendly system. He said my friend got through that way and nuked the other chance. She only had 3 of us. This is last year. Well, my attorneys are going to try to go through and contact, but from what I've been told, they don't like people to contact them directly about violations of terms of service. Does not mean that whatever doesn't happen, I'm not going to forward this on to YouTube's legal department. And I will just take the personal choice, but they don't really like it. Yeah, it's difficult. Yeah. It's and obviously that's, maybe YouTube is becoming more hands off. So we can only see what happens, because they certainly are going to be letting YouTube know about his behaviors. I can, that much I can attest to, is that they certainly are going to be looking into trying to ensure that that they're going to do what they can. And that's, and probably what would happen is that anything that I get, I'm going to also make sure I forward it to YouTube's legal department, just to get it there and see what happens, but they are going to be asking to have a human conversation. So we are certainly trying our best to speak to somebody at YouTube, and trying our hardest to we found the video, Luke. You have to go back on the replay, but we took a look in the video and we looked at the shed and we think we saw the golf clubs. So it was the one where he said he threw his back out, one of the threw his back out videos. But thank you for that tip, because we went searching. So you're going to have to go back. Yeah, I know. We'll go back on the replay and double check it. So anyway, guys, I certainly do appreciate you all being here today. It was a lot of fun. Happy Friday, 13th of all the weirdest days ever. I will see how long I will survive on this platform. I did want to make sure I thanked everybody who was so generous on the last live stream, and with even buy me a coffees for me. And because, thank you with the lucky 7s. Oh, you love the life and vibe, aka Ray and Sister. Oh, well, thank you, Cody. Thank you. I need a lot of luck today. I need the luck today. I mean, I feel lucky to have such a fantastic community. I feel lucky that I'm growing this community. And I feel lucky to have even these conversations because we're having conversations. There's no right or wrong way. I think we're just starting to learn a lot more information. I think we're certainly starting to learn a lot about, you know, I should probably not dox all my puppies over here. It's certainly been interesting. You know, it's funny. I don't know if Tim likes, I think he does like to cause drama. And likes to cause drama by striking at channels. I think that's his way of kind of creating drama so that he's spoken about. Narcissists don't care if it's good or bad. As long as they're talked about, then they're happy. And I certainly feel that sometimes Tim likes to, you know, make sure that he's getting, in quieting my voice, obviously. I think that obviously having, you know, done the fundraiser for Bev and just doing other things and continuing to call him out and highlight where his personality is problematic and, you know, things like sending himself Omaha steaks. Tim, we know you sent those steaks to yourself. You can keep doubling down on it. But I think most of us are starting, gosh, I had somebody actually comment to me that Tim has now been officially given a place in Girl World. It's GORL World, all one word. And if you check it out, guys, you will find out it's a crazy community of really good people at the end of the day. But it's an interesting community. And that Tim is like come in as the only male in Girl World because he is such a girl. He loves the attention. Oh, absolutely. Thank you. Enjoy my day with. I appreciate it. Junebug is snoring on the couch at the moment. She needs a bath. She got to get bathed with her special shampoo today. So we've got some exciting things planned. Not really. I'm hoping I get to enjoy some other people's live streams tonight. And I hope to be able to stay with all of you. I am thinking, since Glitter and Lasers, I know some of you aren't interested, has come back with a fashion haul and some health updates. I thought we might do something around her since Foodie Beauty is still missing. And Tim hasn't gone sadly missing yet, but he hasn't had a lot of content today, which is wild. I do find it interesting that he's without as much content. I showed this channel, I think, where I showed all my strikes. So it seems like my other, the counter notification that was sent in by my attorney is just awaiting review. I'm sure that will get accepted, and I'm sure we'll just keep going through this, you know, same shenanigans where Tim is supposed to show in 10 days that he has, you know, responded with a legal action against me, which he hasn't. He's just angry, mad, and bitter. And it worked in the past with him to get rid of channels by striking. The difference is that I counter notify. And this is like, how many times has this been now? 5 times he struck at my channel? 5 times. All right, guys. Yes, he does. Well, you take care, Jay, and you give Bev all my best. And I'm going to finish it up here, guys, because we've been over 2 hours. I did want to say thank you to my moderators, Miss Catherine, because you got up for a tinkle. Well, you can always be like Tim and get yourself a little female urinal. We have the female type too, you know. They may not be as convenient to use, though. I also wanted to thank all the people that were so kind. Oh, Mark! I just saw Mark's little super there. Thank you, Mark. I just took a look, so I'm glad I did. Thank you so much for that little super sticker there. That was very sweet of you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. And for all of you who so generously watched, who like, commented, and subscribed today, I promise you all of this goes towards my attorney. Having that type of and she's very honest about what she can and what we can't do and how I should present my content in order for me not to get into any legal, you know, difficulties. And I'm very happy to share that learning with everybody here. So yes, thank you. You guys all have a wonderful Friday. Absolutely. Well, I'm glad you all found it very informative. Like I said, Tim, send Johnny Vegas back his golf clubs. You got plenty of money. You can put it into a special bag, I think, and have it shipped FedEx. I mean, it's not great because it's probably not going to be great for the handles either. Or you send him the cash for it. One of the two. But you need to compensate him for his stuff that he lent you. That was a loaner. You weren't supposed to then take it to Florida. And now you don't even play golf anymore because you're too cheap to pay for a course. And I guess he doesn't have a bunch of Florida fans. Have you noticed that he doesn't seem to have a lot of people out there in Florida wanting to comp him for stuff all the time? I wonder why that is. I wonder if it's because you've lived in that area for a long period of time, Tim. And people are kind of got to know who you are. And I wanted to also, well, Carol, you have a great weekend too. And thank you for joining us today. And Ann too. And Miss Diane and all of you came on in. And I did want to thank Miss Angela Glass too. And Sammy, they probably came in and out because I know people are working on Fridays. I've, as I get older, taking a day off so I can get back to grad school. I'm getting back in, but I'm 4 days a week at the moment. It was a bonus of being older, was that I could go down to a 4 day a week schedule, and that's been nice. So I appreciate it, guys, and we will have an amazing weekend. Yes. I don't know what the next video is going to be. May not be a Tim, so just be prepared. I might do somebody else. He's getting desperate seeing Jay and JV and Steve come forward. Oh yeah, he's absolutely ticked off. Thank you, non-compass mentis, for that. Absolutely. And thank you if you're new to this channel. We were just catching up with stuff and kind of catching up with all the business of the week. Nothing changed, but we had a lot come out this week. So make sure if you did like this type of content, subscribe. We're growing. And hit the likes, and we'll see you on the next one, guys. Take care. Happy Friday.